Hey guys, hope everything's going well for you. We wanted to do this video. We actually have the good camera set up now. We actually did a video if you had the unfortunate experience of going to our YouTube channel in the last couple of days. You saw a nightmare of a video. I don't know what happened. I think our camera had problems, and then I think
it wasn't strictly because we were in the car, but it sounds like the audio track overlapped or duplicated itself. So just all sorts of a train wreck that we couldn't fix. So we figured we'd just reshoot in a more controlled environment.
Yeah, who knows what happened there? I think it was just like a compound technical problem. Anywho, and everybody was kind enough to let us know that it was broken, but we don't have cell phone service. Unfortunately, we're without cell phone service. In fact, a lot of our area is still without power, but we wouldn't know because we don't have power anyway. So anyway, long story short, we thought we would just reshoot this video, but we do it with a good camera, not while driving. And yeah, hopefully we don't have any technical difficulties and this video will get uploaded and it'll actually work. So we'll try to do that better this time. So what we wanted to talk about in this video really briefly was a recent windstorm that came through our homestead. In fact, it came through a large area here in the Pacific Northwest. And in that previous video, what we were trying to communicate was the feelings that we had when we came home after being in town, kind of blogging for the day, getting caught up on some chores.
Taking a day off. A day off? What's that?
Yeah, we thought we would take a day off here, we thought, and we went to town, and we came home, and as we got closer to the property, we started to see a lot of debris on the ground, trees over.
Parts of the trailer were exposed, and we didn't quite know what happened. We just knew that something's not right.
Yeah, when we showed up the tent, or I call it tent, but our RV garage was completely shifted way to the side, and suddenly you could see inside from the outside, which you're not supposed to be able to do.
Yep. Sheets of rain were coming down sideways, and everything around the trailer was an absolute swamp. So even though it was 8 o'clock at night and we were unfed and it was rainy, we knew we had to roll up our sleeves and get to work putting our home back together.
Yeah, I was actually talking to my dad on the phone while we were in town just before we got out here, and it was just ripping. The wind, we came out of the market there, and the flags, they have these flags flying, and they were just cracking in the wind. It was raining sideways, and it wasn't just dumping, it was just absolutely pouring.
The kind of rain that you step outside for 2 seconds and you're completely soaked head to toe.
Yeah, so anyway, we came home and we had this kind of carnage. We looked at it and it was just, we were already tired, we're exhausted. If you've been following our blog, we've been collecting building materials. We reclaimed a barn and a house. We built this cabin. We've been putting our wood stove in. We have been absolutely running at a hectic pace, and then we're just tired. We try to take a day off and recuperate. We come home and it's 8 o'clock at night or something like that, and it's dark and it's rainy. Oh, by the way, we don't have power because we're off grid. So there's just like, it really leaves you with this empty, dark feeling. It took everything the two of us had and some kind of ingenuity and things. We had to use some heavy lifting jacks and stuff like that to get this garage back up on its foundation. It's a bit of a miracle. I don't really know how, but this cabin did not budge.
Which is great. I think I would have completely broke down in tears if it were demolished.
That would have been a very hard thing for us, a deal breaker almost. I mean, we were already just on a thread of patience and endurance to stick it out. So in the driving rain, we got the carport reasonably put back together. It was actually a very urgent matter, which is why we didn't take the camera out and try to document any of it, because the wind was supposed to increase into the evening hours, and this thing being all twisted up and mangled was at even greater risk of more damage, would then put our RV at risk, on and on and on.
I think that night peak winds around the area were recorded at 110 miles per hour, 113, somewhere in there. So we're not talking about 20 mile per hour winds.
Yeah, and we kind of, I mean, we can take a break from talking about what we saw when we came back. It was, bottom line, we were swimming in water because there was 6 inches of snow, 5-6 inches of snow that melted, and then on top of that, over an inch of rain. So this ground is permeable, but it just can't take a flood. So we were swimming in water trying to get this thing put back together. But we wanted to talk about kind of the idea behind this RV garage really quick, because a lot of people have kind of been skeptical of it. This garage has withstood already over 60-mile-an-hour winds, and we've been talking to the neighbors, and it's kind of cool that we're doing this video a couple of days later, because in talking with people around the area, we came out pretty good. Like, we were really just frustrated because we're so exposed, and when we talked to the neighbors, there were sheds flipped over, trees down through cars. In fact, looking at the videos today, we got a chance to finally get access to internet, and we did really well.
Other people had lesser carports, probably, you know, $100 ones that were completely obliterated, greenhouses that were down.
Yeah.
So we were really frustrated that our little shelter logic garage in a box was moved, but we see that it could have been a lot worse, so now we're thinking it's pretty decent overall.
Yeah,
after all.
So 2 days later, our attitude's a little different. At first, we were like, oh, this is so frustrating because we're so exposed, we're so vulnerable, like we're trying to get our house built, but here we are with this garage thing. But you know, we did really well. The foundation that we built, everything was buttoned down, and this thing took a really hard hit and still standing. So I guess in a way we're trying to say we're fortunate. But you know, a lot of people have been skeptical of our choice to go with this garage and all those things. And up until this point, this thing had really taken a battering and was absolutely stable. So we started to feel really confident that it was going to be able to weather us through the winter. And this storm, I don't know how much of a record it was, but this was a record storm. And if we can take that kind of pounding on this little tiny homestead, just the two of us, in the middle of the night and still be standing, I think we've done really, really well. So our attitude at first was like we were just feeling very weak and very kind of just not safe, not secure, and you know, very vulnerable. But now we feel, well, we are very vulnerable, but we feel now maybe like, hey, we did pretty well, figuring that everyone else kind of didn't fare as good. So.
And I think in times like that, Emil, it really makes you question the path that you're on. So we were thinking, well, what if we were to have gotten an apartment, or what if we would have had our barn built by now? But we really had time to think it all over and realize that we still feel really confident about this path. Yeah. We're living debt-free right now. We're not spending $1,000 a month or $12,000 a year on an apartment that we're never going to get back. Yeah. Every dime that we've put into this shelter and our RV, we should be able to recoup. So, like I said, we still feel very confident about this path, and we're hoping that we can get through the winter.
Yeah, and this video is not meant to be a complaining video. It's more like just, wow, we have to share this with you, because if you're thinking about going on a journey like this, you're already on a journey like this, or you're kind of following us, we want to communicate that you're going to get some hard hits. And this was something that nobody really could have predicted. I mean, there were
stuff happens, you just don't know where or how, and it's going to come up at the least convenient times possible, but you have to expect that when you're on this type of a journey, and it's difficult, which is why many people don't do it. We could tomorrow get 15 feet of snow. We don't know. We're going to prepare the best we can, and we made every decision we've made so far very patiently and thoroughly, given all the circumstances with what we had, resources and time. And so overall, we at first we were really frustrated, but I think we really feel confident in our decisions now. We're going to keep going, but we wanted to do this video too because we want to kind of give this out there to the audience for anybody who's on this journey. If you have an experience like this one where you just kind of get hit when you're down, we were already exhausted, like to the point where every joint and muscle we have aches, our backs are tired. You know, a lot of people have been encouraging us to rest, which we're trying to do, but there's just so much to get done. But then this happens, what do you do? Yeah, and then your house gets knocked off its foundation. Now what do you do? My point is, watch this video. If you're one of those people in that situation, you're kind of tired, you're down, you're exhausted, you're burnt out, and then you're getting kicked while you're down, just know you're not alone. You know, this journey is difficult, as Alyssa mentioned. This is why a lot of folks are really kind of just hesitant to leave the comfortable lifestyle, which we are missing. We miss a lot of the comforts of home. But, you know, there are people out there who are doing this journey. You know, we had another person on our Facebook comment that they've just been getting pounded with snow, so they can't get their walls up. These are common problems, and I think, you know, everybody makes the best decisions that they can. So the point of this video was to be positive, also kind of like informative. We haven't been online for a few days. This is why. We have no cell service here. We've been actually out getting firewood, and we found a generous person nearby who has a bunch of wood that we can reclaim that was actually just going to rot sitting there. So we've been able to turn it all into some good heat, which is really nice. We got our fire going, keeping us warm. But we wanted to make this a positive video too, just to let everybody know that we're fine, everything's good, we're safe, and we really actually feel for those other families out there, because once we got to see the video and photos, we're like, whoa, never mind, we're fine, everything's good. It sucked severely. I mean, we had to spend probably an hour just kind of talking to decompress after it all, because it was very traumatic. But we really feel for the families who lost maybe somebody in the windstorm and had property damage.
We know there's a lot of damage out there, so you know, our condolences go out to you. You know, I wish we could help more. And if there's some neighbors who need help, we might try to do that. But we've got a lot of trees down. We got to get the trees out. Well, somebody cut one of them out of the road for us, so that was really nice of them. We got to get that harvested up.
We wrote a pretty lengthy blog post on this as well that has some stuff that the video does not cover, including a lot of photos, or a few photos of what our property looked like, and then also stresses the importance of doing a lot of small projects on your homestead, because stuff like this happens and it does put a lot of strain on the relationship and your energy, and if you work on a lot of small projects, you get to learn to work with one another, so in very stressful times like this, which will happen, you're able to handle it a lot better and get through it with a little more of a smile on your face.
Yeah, I think a motto for this video and kind of this experience, which this whole experience is one of these, but this little micro experience here, that which doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. You know, I've had bad experiences in my previous life. When I was 10 years old, our house burnt down. That will change you forever. In fact, having a wood stove is a bit of a new thing for me, because since that happened to us, I don't recall having wood heat. I mean, that's what caused our house to burn down. But you have to move past these experiences and get stronger from them and just use common sense. And so that's really our motto for this video, is that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So find the strength. We've kind of phoned some family, we've talked to some friends, we've also talked to some neighbors, and through all of that we've been given a lot of support, which we really appreciate everybody's support. It's definitely hard out here. We're kind of drained down, but we're gonna keep going. Thank you for all the support. Thanks for watching this video. If you're new to our blog, we're trying to build an off-grid homestead. We're going to be doing a timber frame barn, although we're rethinking the plans on that because of high winds. We're also going to be doing some solar projects, doing some permaculture, all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, please follow us. It's purelivingforlife.com. We do like micro posts on Instagram and Facebook when we have cell phone service. So if you like those, please follow us over there. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video so you can get our future updates. We'll see you next time.